Alrighty guys, in today's video we're going to be looking at our first basic part that we can add from our flat parts templates. But before that, let's have a quick intro first. So today's video can be found on softwaretraining.co.za. We make short and easy to watch problem solving videos, and we also have daily updates. Otherwise, we're back in the program here. So now just a quick reminder, this is going to be a mini series around the flat parts, and we won't be covering every single part, but we might break it up into some basic shapes, intermediate and advanced, just so we can cover some different elements. But like I mentioned, at any point if you feel like you've kind of got this, you've got the hang of it, you always jump to the intermediate section, and then once you feel comfortable there, go to the advanced. And so you don't have to watch every single video, but if you do it, by the end of this, you'll probably know this feature a little bit better and be a bit more rounded off. So now I'm going to just create a new sheet for the sake of this tutorial, so we can add the parts to our actual sheet as well. So now, once again, we just click on this big little icon on your primary toolbar, then it will pop up our parts. Now, as you guys can see, part 1, that is already getting a bit more advanced. So instead of running through P1, P2, P3 all the way to P59, I'm going to grab some basic shapes first. And I think ideally, in my opinion, basic shapes are ones that consist out of maybe 1 or 2 measurements. So we don't get into too many complex different calculations to do. So I'm going to start you with P13. I don't think you get more basic than this. Sorry for my little chuckle there. Now, first of all, what are we going to see under here is a few different settings. We've got a nice little preview button that shows us the part, and also it shows us the measurements you get for it, or the type of measurement. So we've got here D1, and it shows us a horizontal line. So basically in this case, it will, depending on what you make the D1, it's going to make your horizontal and your vertical the same, because this is a circle, not an oval. And then on the right here to the preview, we've got, as we can see, D1, and then the measurements in millimeters. So this is great. So you can always use this preview to kind of interpret what you want the measurements to be, depending on what you have. Some of them, they've got a list down to here, some it's only one. The next up here, we've got the name. So if you're using a lot of generic shapes and you want to try to remember which shapes they were, you could just leave it at the part number, so P13, or you can just make your own custom name, and then in your actual, parts list here, you'll be able to see that name. So if you know it's a very specific part, you need a name for it, you can do that. And what we can do is we type in, I'm going to just make this 200 millimeters, 20 centimeters, and then we click OK. Then we're going to be popped up by this little pop-up, and then we're not going to go into too much detail yet what's located here. We will do that in another series. But what we've got here is basic nesting, so I'm just going to make it manual nesting, make it one part, and then the rest I will all keep the same, and say add. Then once I click add, obviously we've got our part here on our list on the left. Now I can just select that, click add part, and now we can manually add that part to our metal sheet. But yeah, so that is it on our first basic shape. Like I said, it only has one diameter. It's very simple to use. So just a quick recap, click on flat parts after we have a sheet, select our part, fill in our diameter 1 or dimension 1, put in a name and say OK, and then after that just say how many we want, because if we keep the manual nesting at 0, as we can see over here, you won't be able to add the part. We did cover this in another series, but I think it's worthwhile noting, just so in case you try add a part and nothing happens like now, because we only have one. But yeah, otherwise that is it on our first basic shape. If we go here to softwaretraining.co.za, you guys will notice we've got a variety of different softwares we do cover, and you can also isolate your search on the top right. If you do not, however, find the training videos you're looking for, just simply go here, request a training video, fill in the mini form, and then we'll do our best to try and make that for you. But otherwise, thanks guys for watching, and cheers.